Yes, please.
We're talking about having devotion and, making effort from our side to reach the God. But Ramakrishna used to say, if you make 1 step towards the God, God will make 10 steps towards you.
Towards me.
Yeah, so
we
could
have
you
to ask, what is the quality of that step? That
the
one
one
step.
step. It is.
No, we are struggling. It isn't as if we are not struggling. But most of our struggle, we don't really understand. Actually, no one is struggling for oneself. It's a universal game. We take it for granted that we are struggling for ourselves. If we understand that it is God's play, not mine, then the ordinary struggle changes into tapasya. That was the idea given in India, that you don't have to change your lifestyle or do some extra something. But it's very important to realize that it is not mine. And that is where we don't seem to be able to understand that as part of this total reality, our struggle is not something isolated. It's part of the same thing. But my recognition of myself as a part, till I can become one with it, as a part, my relationship to the whole is very important. I have only to change my attitude. And it's mental. There's nothing mainly physical about it. But we do not somehow understand the simple fact. Again, take some totality, some image of wholeness. Take a tree, there are millions of leaves in it. Each one is not serving its own purpose. They are serving the purpose of the tree. Or take an ocean. It isn't as if each wave or bubble is serving its own purpose or its own momentum. The momentum belongs to the ocean. So it is this recognition that we are not doing it for ourselves. That is where it can be a problem, because we don't seem to understand that I am playing somebody else's game. And that somebody else is the whole, I am the part. So why don't we like it?
We always want to play our game. You want control.
No, we are never in control. And control can come only when you understand that you are part of a whole. Because the whole always controls the parts. The part cannot control. Though these ideas can be analyzed and seen, how is it that I want to be in control without realizing that there is a deeper level of control. So that's what one moves towards slowly, either through understanding or through blows. We are taught you are not in control. As they used to say in every traditional religion, they do try to tell us, which we have rejected today, that it is not your own universe. It's God's universe. But we have made a hash of the meaning of the word God. We have rejected it. So to get it back, what exactly does it mean? That the world belongs to God or created by God, or it's a whole, I am only a part. This recognition comes slowly because for a long time we are ignorant. Let us say at least agree that we are ignorant rather than that I am bad, which has been tried for a long time. I am bad, I must have done something bad. So, and the game is played in this way, happiness and sorrow. So,
Is this
Yes.
also part of what you were speaking of, reciprocity, that we owe back?
Yeah.
And so if we're participating as seva, or however we choose to do it.
of course, even in a family, that same attitude can be there. That's why in India they used to give this idea that your child is Krishna, or just superimpose. So that superimposition was given as a help, because one cannot move away immediately. So change all relationships just with an attitude. Yes?
I have a personal problem with the control issue, and that is being a physician here, you in America, you really have to control. Because if something goes wrong, the blame will come right back to you. The nurse can make mistakes, FDA, lab technician, x-ray, other colleagues, doesn't matter. It'll come back to you, and we have to bear some very bad consequences of that. So, it is like almost expected that we have to be in control of everything that's happening. And then to come to Vedanta and to listen, because we live very close to the Vedanta and Carmichael, and to listen that you have no control. And believe me, after getting kicked many times, I realized there is no control. But to come to that point is a long journey.
But of course, in the beginning you are supposed to take up control, because I have thought of myself as a separate human being. Therefore I have to take control. There is no problem in that. Vedanta talks from a very high point of view, but it doesn't say that you have to let go of your responsibility at the ordinary level. Not at all. Never. Actually, you are supposed to take on control, because it's your choice. If you want to live as an individual in this world and take whatever benefit comes out of these positions, after all, becoming a physician or becoming a teacher or becoming anything, any profession, is giving you tremendous reward. Do we think of that? Once upon a time, people didn't have that. Now we have separated ourselves. We want individual freedoms. So with individual freedom comes individual responsibility. Whatever that responsibility may be. When you come to Vedanta and you hear these ideas, one is supposed to understand that that's the ultimate level. When you talk about the whole, not separate from you at all, but as long as the desire for separation is there, definitely you are in control. You have to take control to the best of your capacity, and then if there is some kind of side effect to living a life like that, that also has to be accepted. Maybe my attitude, maybe my way of functioning, because these are all limited. It isn't as if I have become a perfect being right here and now. I haven't. So I can make mistakes. So when that comes, towards oneself, one has to take responsibility for that also. And the basic game of life is suffering and pleasure. It isn't as if these side effects can be completely, what would you say, completely wiped out. Main medicine is there. Either you take the main medicine and understand that there will be side effects. So, is there anything in human life which is just pleasant without any unpleasantness? I don't think so. There's no such thing. So then one has to accept it. This responsibility, when you come to study at the very ultimate level, these books are supposed to be the core issues. They do apply to our daily life, to our ordinary life, because I need to have an ideal in order to move towards something. But that doesn't mean that on the way I let go of my responsibility and say, since that is responsible, so let me give it up. If I can't give up my own separation, my individuality, how can I give up responsibility? One can't. And then functioning in a country like this, I better understand that they have a standard. They have their own laws, their own rules. And it's for me to either enter or say, no, I can't do it. Yes?
When you say that you're a part of the whole, is that a different level of understanding than saying you are that?
But of course,
So-
absolutely. There are these 3 steps which are understood in India, or were understood once upon a time, which are called the level of duality,
Yes.
where the separation is what I believe in, and that level demands a different kind of understanding. Then you move on to some kind of a unity which is there, but I can't see it. I have to understand it through thinking, and that is the level of qualified duality or monism, as they call it. And the last level is complete oneness. I don't become one immediately as soon as I start practicing. I am one, but I need to recognize it. So the recognition takes a long time, long travel, as we have been doing. What I feel is that we need to remember that we have been suffering, we have been struggling throughout, from the very beginning of evolution to this level. Only at this level it has become conscious, more or less. I am aware that I am struggling. Maybe an animal does not know it, cannot put it in that kind of language, and cannot question. I can question, I can challenge, and I also can remember or trace it back that I have been doing something. It is an ongoing process. I have been suffering, struggling, and now the struggle is that I can either take it up in my own hands and shorten it, speed it up, or I can let it be subconscious and wait for the whole world to change, all civilizations to change, before I change my attitude. And that is, I don't think, is going to happen in the near future. Therefore, it's up to me. Nobody can force me, excepting my own experiences. Therefore, experiences are very valuable, because from outside I may read books and I may attend lectures, but what will force me to understand these things is my own experiences.
Would you also say that this experience, in talking about experience, this diagram is mediated experience?
But of course,
So would you say something about direct experience?
Direct experience, there is actually nothing to say because there is no medium. Here we are talking about the medium. We can talk, we can think of it in many ways. We can use many languages and many roads leading to the ultimate. But direct experience cannot be put in words. Number one, each one has to discover it for oneself. It isn't given. It isn't as if somebody else can explain to me and then I will do it. Like, take examples again. What does it feel like when I stand on top of a mountain? Suppose I ask another person who has been to the top. What will he say? Oh yes, it's wonderful, it's beautiful. But then it means nothing to me, accepting as encouragement that you can also go up there. But then that experience itself cannot be put in words. No experience actually can be put in words. My experience of, let us say, sitting here, what do I feel? I can try to put it in words, but then nobody can really understand what exactly I am experiencing. We use languages, we use feelings, we use all kinds of outlets which are known to the human mind, all kinds of languages. Everything that human beings touch is a language, but then the language is not experience. And especially for the ultimate experience, in our ancient Rig Veda, which is the earliest book, it says Asti Matram. It is. That's all. You can only say it's real, it is true, that's all. So beyond that, I have to find out. It's given, these words are given to us like very short formulae. A mantra, they are called mantra. Mantra means something with the help of which, or sutra, a thread, with the help of which you can, isn't there a Greek story where there's a thread you can hold on to, and what is that story? Does anyone know?
Way to the labyrinth. It's
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
center
yeah.
of the labyrinth.
Ariadna.
Yeah, I know it is starts with A-R, but I don't know how it is pronounced. It's a story that you hold on to that thread and then move, because otherwise you can get lost. So it's the same thing here. Get hold of something, an object or a sound symbol or visual symbol, because these are like threads. Hold on to them and walk. You won't get lost. But if I try to say that I'll walk without any help, that's a little difficult. Little difficult means I can get lost in the labyrinth completely. I won't know how to come out, which is our position. I enter life and then I want to get out of it, get out of unpleasant experiences, and I don't know how. It's because we haven't caught hold of the thread. Once upon a time the thread was given on faith. Here is the thread, hold on to it. Now we say, I will make my own thread. All right, go ahead. Who is asking you not to? Make it. Again and again, one needs to compare. Once upon a time, these ideas were clear. Today they are not. So what has happened to this age? What has happened to me? What's happened to our way of functioning that we feel lost? There is definitely something we need to ask. And then, has it been my own choice to come to this kind of a level, or is it being imposed on me? If we don't understand, we will feel it is being imposed on me. Like look at the speed of events that are happening, or look at the interaction between different cultures, look at the amount of information. All that can make one feel completely lost. But then I have to ask myself, is somebody forcing me to live at this level? I can still go and live in the Middle Ages, where everything was definite and everything was clear. I can. It isn't as if it's impossible. One can do that. But I want to belong to this age. And I better tell myself, it's because you want to belong to this age that you are here. It isn't as if anyone has forced me to come to this age. And the best for women is to remember, just go 200 years back, or maybe even less than that. You didn't have all these problems. Why not? Why not? Because we didn't want that. We didn't like it. So the alternative has been given to us without our asking. Something has pushed us into it. Now to say that, it's not my doing, won't do. All right, Ranu? It won't do.
So I have a multi-million-dollar question.
You have? First give me multi-million.
Only if you get it right.
All right, come.
Okay, so just like Vidya asked in the beginning, that so it seems, I know it's all impersonal but we've personified it, and we have this representation, and we're trying to form a relationship and so that we can evolve. Ultimately, what I want to know is, if I've taken up this journey and I'm trying to walk this path, then does that ocean, does it know where I am? Does
the ocean know
the
where
being,
I am?
yes, exactly. Does it know exactly, like, so that if I've got a relationship
What
with,
is your idea of the ocean?
well, but I've made the impersonal like if I've personified it.
Oh yeah, definitely. It knows.
Okay, good.
But then
Right answer,
can you take it on my
Yeah.
authority.
if you, supposing Sri Ramakrishna were alive today and you approach him, would he know where you are?
Yes.
All right, make that relationship. That's all. He knows where you are.
Okay.
There's no way of getting out of that sight. Remember it that it's following you all over.
Okay.
Ooh, that's uncomfortable.
I know.
So
I have a
it's you who is
Right.
trying to hide
Right.
out of that sight.
Okay.
That sight does not.
It knows that even I'm playing hide and seek.
Oh
like he
yes,
knows.
it knows that. Yes.
I like what you're saying about, you've emphasized this a few times, changing our attitude as a way, once we acknowledge this level of ignorance, I mean, we can intellectualize forever, but unless we really are willing to jump, sort of try something new, be vulnerable, change our attitude. What does that look like? Can you give us a few examples?
What does that look like? Did you watch the film last night? What was his relationship to his chosen ideal, which was mathematics?
Love and devotion
And suffering.
and suffering.
So that's what it means. Change your attitude and remember, the life definitely contains what you are looking for, but then I have to be ready for everything that it gives. That's change of attitude. Right now we want to divide our experience of human life into pleasant, unpleasant, I would rather have pleasant than unpleasant, but both go together all the time. And I have to have the same approach to both.
So appreciating the hard
Appreciating
lessons
pain.
and the pain as much as this, like almost looking at that as a gift. Like there must be a gift there. It hurts,
Yeah,
it's
I
hard,
know.
I'm confused.
It
but
isn't
there's-
as if I have to embrace it, as Sri Ramakrishna says, if a tiger comes, you are not going to embrace the tiger, but you definitely know that the tiger also belongs to the same universe. So it's a question of, it isn't as if we can change our attitude immediately. Don't fall into that kind of fallacy. It's not true. But I can look around, have a wide angle point of view. Just look what human life is in a kind of spread out something simultaneously, happening at the same time. There is misery, there is happiness, there is death, there is life. Everything is laid out in front. Can we keep that in mind? And then if you look at yourself as part of that, it's again becoming conscious of your own position in the grid. A grid is very important. We all have grids in the mind, but we need to look at it, analyze it, see it, and try to make it more and more universal, so that I can see my own position in that grid. It's because we do not see ourselves as part of the whole that the problems become so acute. If millions of people are being murdered just now, are they? What does that mean? Millions are being, let us say, being born. Millions are dying. Millions are starving. So what does it mean? Because these are facts. It isn't as if these are imaginary events. They are not. So if these things belong to this universe, then either I have the capacity to look at it simultaneously so that I know what it is like, or I try to avoid it and come to my own little circle and ask that should be made perfect. It cannot be. It's not possible. So to become part of the whole means just have a wide angle point of view. Look at how human beings are living on this earth even now, just now. So don't avoid anything. And once it becomes a habit that this is the fact. It isn't as if somebody is telling me it is true and somebody is saying no, it is not true. It is true, and then see what is my position in that ocean of life. It isn't as if I can avoid anything. I cannot. So instead of feeling pushed and pulled, I can find my position in this whole and look at the basic drive that's driving the whole, rather than me in particular. That's the whole idea, to change one's attitude. This is one way. One can change one's attitude in many ways, but this I find is the best. It's like you are standing on a peak, looking at the whole thing as a part of something that is side by side, rather than past, present, future. That kind of a vision gives you a very different idea than if you try to put events into chronological order. Chronological order does not function. It has not been functioning for a long time. And today we have the capacity to see it simultaneously. But we are still trying to go back to the chronological happening of events. This leads to this leads to that. It is not so. Everything is happening side by side. There are so many ways of understanding. Cultures are intermingling. People are coming from all over and then trying to live their life. So by one means or another, try and see how simultaneous the universe is and change your point of view. It's not past, present, future. It just is there. And what is there, will I look at the ocean and say, do I like it, do I dislike it?
I have no choice.
There's no such thing. You can't say that. It is there, it is a fact. So facts cannot be denied. So that if I do it again and again, because these are mental images, though physical images are also there, my mind will relax and change its attitude automatically, because my vision is different.
Mataji, going back to Ramanuja's example, we saw the main part in which he suffered. What happened during the last year? Do you have any idea?
He suffered even more.
He suffered more.
He went back and then he again got the same illness and he was very sick. But he kept writing the equations and formulae until the 4 days before he died, he was writing. And that's when he was going, he took off that thread and asked his wife to send it to Hardy. And those pages that they were found, his brother sent them to Hardy, and that's what's still being used.
And not only that, his mother, you must have noticed that the mother was a great problem. So, she made his life very, very difficult.
Even when he came home?
Oh yeah. She wanted, I suppose there are mothers like that also. She wanted to
Control.
she wanted to get money out of because they were very poor. So she knew that he had become famous and he had gone to England and his books had been printed, so she wanted some gain out of that. And then her attitude to the daughter-in-law was also not a very helpful one. And then his wife later on became, she earned a little money by sewing clothes. But where did she get the machine? In the book. If you get hold of the book, there are many details given.
And she lived up to the age of 93.
Oh, yeah.
And the wife. And he had a stipend from the Trinity College of £250 a year, which was supposed to come to him for 6 years. And he used it only for research and for helping students. And he left instructions that after he died, it was not to come to him, but it was to be used for poor students in India. So his wife had to manage on her own.
Wow.
Mataji, I have a question which is a follow-up of Ranu's question. She said she wants to know if the source is
Aware of
where she is in the path. So now I'm taking it from my level, okay? I'm just giving you. When we are working in my profession, I really don't want to know if somebody is watching me or somebody knows what I'm doing. Because in my mind, as long as I'm doing the right thing, I have to be doing the right thing, I think it's okay. It really is okay. I don't need for anybody to be looking at me and to know that I'm doing a good job or a bad job. But in my heart, if I know I'm doing a good job, that's good enough. And so I honestly believe, and I translate that to the spiritual level, as long as I know I'm doing my best, and I think for me the path is karma yoga, service, serve all and love all. If I can do that, it doesn't matter whether Deva is watching or not, although faithfully in my heart I know it happened, that this universe is looking at it.
One can have a personal point of view, no problem.
That's the same thing. You just said you know in your heart they was watching. What did you, so?
She
that's
wants
the same
to
thing.
know whether
That's the same thing.
it's a fact
He
or
knows,
not.
Deva knows.
So, but one can always have a personal point of view, no problem at all. So,
Is that page 19?
page 19.
Just the last thing about suffering, Mataji, sorry.
Yeah.
The last thing about suffering is, so mother or whatever, he had to, Ramanuja just suffered to that extent, but then did he have greater did Mother give him the capacity to undergo all that suffering?
Can't you see that? Yes.
Yes.
How proud he
Okay.
was.
Mhm. Yeah.
That pride shows that he had the capacity.
Yeah.
Not only that, you can also see, I have to go back to the book whether it is there or not, that finally he was made a member of the Royal Society,
Yes.
and that is what he wanted. So that's a very worldly ideal that he wanted to achieve.
Yes.
Wasn't he given?
Yeah, he was given.
So, there you are.
He suffered.
We need to look at these things in detail. He wanted that, he got
He
it.
got it. and
Yeah, but
he
for he had to pay.
He had to pay the price.
Yeah, if you want power,
Mhm.
remember that as a law.
The universe
If you
exacted the
want
price.
power, if you want to use energy for anything else excepting God realization, you will have to pay.
Mhm.
And the payment can be anything. And we forget all that. When I think of myself as a separate individual and I want to exploit energy, whether it is what I consider my own or what I consider as outside myself, I will have to pay through my nose.
Should we read?
Any ambition
Mhm.
has to be paid for. It's only when the mind says, I don't
I have
want
no
it,
more ambition.
then there is peace.
Then the energy.
Then shanti,
Let's go.
shanti.
Energy. Okay.
Play of energy, remember,
Play of energy.
play of energy makes us feel we want power. Because we have separated ourselves. So I want power, I want control, I want whatever, so many things. But it is all energy. Energy is not given to me free, cannot be. Because I did not create energy. The most basic fact to remember is, I do not create energy. Energy is. I manipulate it.
I use it and
Never exploit it. It will boomerang.
Should I read? Space-time continuum. In Hindu psychology, there are 3 levels of space-time continuum or dimensions of space-time: Mahakasha, Chittakasha, and Chidakasha. These are the physical, the subtle, and the deepest levels where consciousness takes on a different kind of luminosity. As we move inwards, we pass various space-time continuums, various atmospheres. We can perhaps understand this better in respect to ourselves. We are aware that there are different levels of consciousness, like the waking state, dream state, and deep sleep state. But beyond this, when people are able to concentrate their energies, they attain a level of pure consciousness. Let us recall here Sri Ramakrishna's experience and his description of his inward journey into spheres of ideas and pure light. One day I saw that through Samadhi my mind was going up by a luminous path, going beyond the gross world studded with the sun, the moon, and the stars. It entered first of all into the subtle world of ideas. The more it began to ascend to subtler and subtler strata of that realm, the more did I see beautiful ideals of deities existing on both sides of the path. I came gradually to the last extremity of that region. I saw a barrier of light there separating the realm of the divisible from that of the indivisible. I saw that there was no more any person or thing there having a form. He then talks of the 7 rishis and light from which the form of a child emerges. So he implies that from the energy of light, forms can be made. This gives us the clue that we are participating in the same game, playing with forms and images. Imaging, name and form, seems to be the very basic secret of our participation in daily life.
Mother,
Yes.
You spoke of the Egyptians today. Did the Greeks arrive to these levels?
Greeks,
Because Swami Vivekananda was an admirer of Plato.
oh yeah, Plato did, Socrates did, but Greeks as a whole did not, because they were more, you can say they paid more attention to politics in the sense of which is the best kind of government. They had city-states and they tried to have dictatorship. They went against dictatorship. Then they wanted to have democracy. Democracy they found to be the most mob-like functioning, because it did not belong to all the people. It was only men and selected men, citizens, not even the slaves. They had slaves, they had women. Women were not supposed to participate in that. So it was a very limited democracy, and that limited democracy does not function. And as we know, even the unlimited democracy cannot function. It's not possible till everyone learns to rise to a very high level of responsibility. It's not possible. And then separated from the idea of gain of power or money, democracy does not function. It becomes what they call mobocracy. That is, the mob starts ruling the country. Yeah. Mob. You don't know the word mob?
Yes, mob, yes. Mob
Yeah,
crazy.
mobocracy. I don't know whether it is
What's
there or
happening
not,
now
but
here?
This is in your dictionary.
oh, in my And the Romans also did the same thing. Romans did not pay any attention to philosophy as such. They were concerned with what? Basically with law, justice. What are the laws governing a society? Each civilization, if you try and go deeper into it, contributed something to the whole. Whereas Indian contribution seems to be on the level of spirituality. No, I won't call it spirituality. It's the study of the human mind in depth, at the end of which they found the ultimate principle. So this subtle body idea, the best description is given in Egypt, Egyptian civilization. But when they don't connect it to the ultimate principle, that civilization dies. Because it turns into either indulgence, like the Roman civilization, and Greek civilization, because they separated into city-states and they were not able to face the Persians. So that happened. That is why it was lost. Then who else? Mesopotamian and Babylonian, they are very old. One doesn't know much about it. Then what about so what is alive today as a civilization, the Western civilization, the Chinese, you can to some extent Russian also, and Indian, they all have something to give to the common whole. That is why they are surviving. And Islam also. And that is why this age has become so aggressive. Because now the speed is so much that either you solve the problems or everyone is going to destroy everyone. But let's hope there won't be that total destruction. But then we have weapons enough to destroy ourselves. How many times over? Hundreds of times over. So what will we do with the weapons? Nobody knows. Throw them into space. That's one idea, yeah. Throw them into space. Yeah.
If you take these three levels or dimensions of space-time, Mahakasha, Chitakasha, and Chitakasha, and apply it to Ramakrishna's vision, do I just have it right that
We started with Mahakasha.
gross world studies the moon?
Yeah.
That's it, that would be
Then
Mahakasha. And then moving into the subtler
world of ideas.
world of ideas, but
Deities.
which includes the deities.
Yes.
Those ideas and
names and forms
Yeah,
are
yeah, yeah.
in the subtle, even though they're much
Yeah.
more luminous. And then the Kasha is at that barrier of light.
There, where there is beyond the barrier,
Yeah.
where there is oneness.
Yeah.
And he talks about light.
Energy beyond the barrier, beyond that barrier is the indivisible. So there's no space-time causation there, or is there?
There,
There,
you can say that there is something because there is light.
there is light.
So light contains everything.
That Chidakasha
So,
is contained
something came to my mind. Have you seen you speak and there are these gadgets which show you the form of the wave traveling? So if we think of that, we will know how every kind of energy can be converted into shapes and forms and objects.
And when you ended the paragraph saying that the secret of our participation is in names and forms, we spend our time primarily in the Chitakasa, whereas the animal level would be in the gross
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Mamakasha.
But we keep on oscillating. It isn't as if the first level is vanished. It hasn't. The problem, actually the conflict is between these two levels. The level of ideas and the level of physical forms. We don't realize that we have moved on consciously, that I have become more of a mental person than physical. We don't seem to realize that. So we keep on oscillating between the two, not accepting either as our basic nature. And therefore it becomes a problem of where should I look for what I really want. Though there are that tendency is also there, look for your ambition in ideas, in professions, but then when we try to connect it with rewards at the material level, again the problem starts. Because rising to the mental level means that we have become subtle. So it should be subtlety which should satisfy us. But we don't remain there. We try to bring it down to the material level. And the material level is not made for that.
It makes me think of how our society is now protecting information, mental level.
Yeah, yeah.
It's, you know, it
It's
just
already
shows
there.
that
Yes,
way.
of course it's there.
Yeah.
But for ordinary people, it's not there. There's no understanding. And even for the scientists, it isn't as if they have left the material level.
The mystery is within us. We do not know how we do this because we have passed through innumerable stages of evolution, and these experiences or this awareness has gone into the subconscious. And this is what we are trying to recover. Human studies are trying to recover past history in every way, where we come from, how we evolved, and so on. The process through which we have made this universe is the whole game. Once we know how we do it, how we repeat the entire experience again and again, with minor cosmetic changes here and there, the mind, once it has reached the level of buddhi or intellectual understanding, starts questioning this desire for repetition and wants to stop. The filmmaker finally gets tired of repeating and stops making more films.
But this implies, Mataji, that at one time I was very close to the Purusha. At one time, at some point, that I'm not me as in my, not in me as in.
Nearest than the near is the ultimate.
Say that again. I'm sorry, Mataji.
The nearest than the near is still the ultimate, because light is coming from that. Light does not belong to me specially. My light, whatever light it may be, whatever consciousness there is, belongs to the ultimate. And if I am conscious, that means it hasn't gone far away. It can't. But I need to recognize it.
I read it somewhere. It says that the consciousness is like looking for consciousness, looking for God for us is like fish looking for water.
Yeah. It is not realizing that you are already in it. You are never disconnected.
Yeah, but Mataji, this is, I have to say, when you say that when I use energy for anything other than God realization, I'll have to pay. So that's difficult because hopefully that energy is merciful and understands
That
that sometimes I'm playing.
sometimes you're playing.
That it's a play. That it shouldn't take everything I do so seriously. It should cut me some slack.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
There you are. Of course it lets you play.
Okay.
Just see it, recognize it.
Okay.
Abstraction through personification. The impersonal is the ultimate reality. The personal is its appearance through name and form. The images become real in themselves instead of being reminders of the impersonal. If we get stuck with the idea that the personal form is absolutely real and there is nothing beyond form and name, then it becomes a problem for the human mind because it is trying to transcend the personal to experience the impersonal. The impersonal gives value to the personal. The restlessness and agitation of the mind is in itself a clue to its desire to go beyond. Pure consciousness is very difficult to grasp unless we associate it with some name and form. Understanding abstraction through personification helps. Life is manifesting itself through each one of us, but we cannot catch life. We cannot make it personal. Life is a concept which can be personified through living objects or living beings, but life itself cannot be separated from the beings. We talk of humanity. It is an abstraction, a subtle concept that can be applied to any human being. The concept of humanity cannot become personal. The concept of truth is never personal. The concept of beauty is not personal. But we have the tendency of seeing the impersonal as the personal. Without the association, the endeavor to abstraction can lead to nihilism. This is like claiming, I am Brahman, and then stopping there as if nothing more is required in terms of nihilism. In our epics, we will say Sri Ramchandra is the personification of truth, Yudhishthira is the personification of dharma, but they do not become truth and dharma. We cannot grasp abstract ideas without examples. To explain truth or dharma, for example, we would have to take recourse to allegories, personifications, or examples. Everything that is a principle is within the grasp of human intelligence, but it is manifested as a personification. We find it difficult to fathom the ultimate reality as we have nothing to compare it with. We can understand that these are human concepts and they can be personified. That is why we have stories and mythologies. The essence is that they use similes and allegories to give us some sensitivity to that which has no words to describe it.
Aren't these
Yes.
all arguments for Bhakti Yoga?
Huh?
Yeah.
Aren't these all arguments for Bhakti Yoga?
Yes, not Bhakti Yoga. They are arguments for watching our own minds and seeing that we don't function without ideas and forms. It's not possible. So, if I can make go beyond the mind, mental functioning, all right, that's good. But then we need to ask ourselves whether it is possible right now as we live our daily life or not. Therefore, understanding our own need, we will have to choose some personification. Otherwise, we are dealing with the personal all the time and our energy gets divided and we do not get what we are looking for. So it is not only for bhakti, it's for daily life. We cannot transcend space and time without going beyond personification.
Exactly.
Yes?
Yeah, so in Ramanuja, or is that how we say his name? So it's interesting that he takes this most abstract thing to many of us, I think, numbers, you know, and he has this almost like personal relationship with the numbers. So, yeah, so I think that to me is like such an example of how it can be, like as far as how the extreme, like it's easier to take, you know, maybe an image of another human or something and personalize that, but to take something so abstract like a number and personalize that seems like it shows a different kind of capacity clearly.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
it is. Very
Yeah.
different. But then you can think of abstract sciences, they are also the same.
Yeah, justice, truth, beauty, like if you
Yeah,
love
that's those are human values.
that.
But mathematics perhaps can be taken as a language to understand reality. Then there are other languages also like that.
Art.
For instance,
Music.
physics,
Art.
it's becoming more and more abstract. Chemistry, I don't know, maybe that also. Think of genetics, that also. Everything is becoming more and more abstract today because we are being pushed to understand that the invisible is more real than the visible. So it's up to us. That is what is happening.
Yeah, it's just so interesting because and how does he get that feeling or of you know, and it's from the, you know, the mother writing on his, I mean, his awareness of this connectedness from where the information comes
I would say
from.
it's still personification.
Yeah, yeah.
He has a very personal approach through the language of mathematics to the deity.
Yeah, and then the teachers or, you know, who he goes to train with or whatever, thought he was going to publish with, they keep pushing him to use their method.
Yeah.
Do the proof, and all that frustration around.
And you did that too.
He has discovered something, and they are asking for the
Evidence.
steps which lead to that discovery. And he has not been trained like that. He wasn't a trained mathematician. He discovered certain, whatever they are called, and to him it is absolutely clear that this is the way. You just get connected with the deity of numbers. Maybe there is a deity of numbers, who knows? I think there is there in India? There should, because there are deities for everything. There must be. So he is connected with the deity, and it gives him the discovery. But the discovery has to be brought to the ordinary mind through the steps, which we are trying to do. Actually, we are trying to trace the steps which leads to the ultimate. For ordinary people, it is absolutely necessary, because we are not going to even move towards the discovery if we do not have some kind of a road. He doesn't need a road. We need roads.
He had direct access. He had direct access somehow. We was born
That
with it.
depends on his laser-like attention to just one idea. Again and again. Remember that.
Would that be called, like, his approach seems like such a perfect depiction of karma yogi in terms of...
I won't call it karma
You
yogi.
wouldn't.
I would call him a bhakta.
Bhakta, okay.
Yeah.
Ultimate bhakta.
His deity is the numbers.
Yes.
And numbers represented by some kind of a face. I don't know, what was
He said
was it Lakshmi, the statue that he had in front?
No, his goddess was the, I forget the name.
Was it Ganesh?
Ganesh and Saraswati.
No.
Yes, yes.
Ganesh and
The
Saraswati.
goddess that he worshipped,
Ah.
there's a name, Tamil name for her.
Yeah, but the goddesses are all energy.
I think it was Saraswati.
Saraswati, right?
That would make sense.
Yeah,
So Saraswati was right on the time, the knowledge.
No, not necessarily. You can even make Kali the...
I think it is that what we saw in the film was Saraswati, but of course the name that they give in his life
Yeah,
is
yeah,
a
that
yoga
can be,
name.
yeah, yeah, they have Amma at the end and many other
Something
words.
Kai, something that ends something.
Yeah,
Kai.
village deities, yeah.
But he also said, no, that an equation has no meaning for me unless it is an expression of the thought of God.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So for him, he really connected those numbers with God.
But of course,
But couldn't understand that others couldn't.
And he couldn't
I mean, that
understand
is-
how others couldn't, yes.
So he suffers.
Yes.
But they also demanded the process, this
Huh?
person
They
was
wanted
trying
the
to.
road.
they demanded,
How he reached that.
because the ordinary mind
Doesn't
wants to know,
understand
how
that.
did you reach it?
Isn't it that Einstein said, I had this insight and then I had to spend all my time to try and explain how I got to it? I think the same thing happened. He had this insight, or I don't know how he got to it. And
No,
then-
insight comes from the Turiya level, and that is what we have forgotten and we don't want to remember, and we think it is bad or it is hallucinating. That's what has happened.
From which level did you say, Mataji?
Turiya.
It is the transcendental level
Oh.
called the Turiya,
Turiya, okay.
where it isn't as if these are departments,
They're not airtight
One
containers.
merges into the other.
Yes.
So we put a stop to some kind of level and we say beyond that there is nothing. So if you keep it open, maybe it will come.
But then we have to be careful because the mind can trick us too. But in his case, it didn't trick him. But in our case, it could.
Adi is checking the Google God.
Yeah, I know. I can tomorrow I can tell you.
Yes.
It's called superconscious. It's called the fourth in our psychology. It's
Turiya.
called Turiya.
Yes.
I didn't
It's
understand
the
what you said.
all-enveloping consciousness, which includes the rest.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
Transcending.
Well, it includes
It's
everything.
the ocean.
Yes, it includes
It's
the
not
rest.
empty.
But they proved that it's not empty.
Yes.
All right?
Sri Ramakrishna demonstrates that there is a gradual process of evolving from the personal to the impersonal, from the absolute duality of an extra cosmic God, entirely separate from us, to an immanent God, and finally to the one and only reality which is called Brahman. We make the separation. Actually, there is none. The same thing seems to have changed. This is the basis of Hindu thought. This way alone we can understand this universe. Brahman seems to have become this universe and we are not separate from it. Keeping in mind these basic concepts, let us start the inquiry into Drisha Vivek, the discrimination between the experiencer and experience.
Finally, we come to the book.
Mataji, can the word impersonal also be translated as transpersonal or superpersonal?
Yeah, yeah. Anything will do.
And then, do you think can we understand that animals also have, like, on what we're calling buddhi, on the...
It depends on if you could enter the mind of an animal. There are people who can. So, why not look at the gradation? That there are gradations of functioning, and within animals also there seems to be a lower level and a higher level, and it keeps on, it's just one, something that is just one and keeps on revealing itself at various levels according to the instrument. If the instrument is limited, it reveals less. If the instrument is ready, by it I mean consciousness. Consciousness, manifestation of consciousness, evolution of, Swamiji calls it, evolution of nature and manifestation of consciousness.
So just gradations, so...
It's one and the same thing from top to bottom, but there seem to be degrees of manifestations of consciousness.
This
Yeah.
experience, what we're talking about, it could be from before.
Oh yeah.
So for an open mind can see the meta I in this birth, which has the experience before, right?
Oh yeah, of course. It's actually cyclic.
What is cyclic?
The whole thing is cyclic. Unless I had the object within me as a past experience, I would not see it. If I didn't have hunger, I would not move towards food. So trace it back to yourself. If I did not want to see, there would be no object.
So I've already put it out there, and that's why I know that it's there, and so, yeah.
Look at it in any way. Just try to understand what is it that I want. Finally. So, should we start with the book? I can.
I am afraid of death because I have died before.
That's one explanation. Yes? Many times. And I remember, but I don't remember consciously. In these near-death experiences, or what's this man who's written,
Dr. Brian Weiss.
Who is taking people back into regressive hypnotism and making them see how they died and who was murdered and where. I seem to remember that he says somebody had a pain in the back and nobody could, no doctor could trace it, and finally he was or she was taken into this past
No, Sylvia
birth.
Brown did that. She's also a regressionist.
Yeah.
She had a patient who came, a young girl who came with constant backache, but no medical checkup proved what was wrong with her. So she regressed her, and she found that in the previous life she'd been horse riding and she'd fallen and broken her spine and died. And she carried that impression. And after she was regressed and she realized that impression, the pain went.
Fascinating.
Because she
See
became
how
aware
fascinated we are.
of it. Yes. It's because she became aware of it.
Yes. That is why awareness, attention is so important.
And when it becomes clear, there's no confusion.
That
then
is what
it
we
kind
are
of
trying to
recedes.
do.
Oh, that the
Not by
bliss.
being regressed.
Oh, okay.
I don't need to be regressed.
Right.
I can use my reasoning power to understand the principle and
Get clear.
get clear. That's the whole idea. Or go to and get regressed to thousands of lifetimes
I don't need-
and discover yourself as a pig.
Probably or worse.
We have the telephone. Can you have the telephone at the regression?
Never ending.
I'll get
It
your
does
children
make-
Just a
tomorrow
second.
about
Yes.
the regression.
Yeah?
It does make you wonder a little bit though, even if you have like, a memory or an awareness, like if the system isn't, like you made a comment earlier about how much we resist knowledge, we don't want to know. And so it seems like there's this other side that not only is the knowledge there, like the belief, this is what happened and I'm aware of that. But then the other side is like my system somehow also has to be prepared to take that.
That is why I need to be regressed, because consciously I don't want to know.
So then I can get to the knowledge part by regression, but then I could.
That cannot be called knowledge.
So I can get to that whatever, like that memory. But then maybe that when I come back, out of regression, the memory could be so like shocking that the system, the physics, because I keep thinking about
There can be many effects. The idea is I have given control over.
Yes.
As it is, we have very little control. And if I want to be regressed into millions of lifetimes, Just think of it.
So, Mataji, when you say try to understand what I really want, you're talking about the meta I who really wants.
Yeah. Ask yourself constantly, what is it that I'm looking for?
Mm-hmm.
So that it becomes clear.
So that's because that's the reason I'm here. That's the reason I took birth.
Exactly. All right, should we read a little?
The perceiver.
I'm gonna go into the procedure.
Ah,
Pravrajika Vivekaparana is an inquiry into who is the perceiver. The point of view here is to look at our experience and observe that because we notice change, it proves that the change happens in the object and not in the subject. Thus we start with the explanation of the subject, which is the I, and the perceived object. The subject perceives the object.
I wish you knew this simple Sanskrit. Is there anyone who knows?
The Sanskrit?
For what, Mataji?
No, there is a printed shloka
Huh.
which is in Sanskrit.
Uh-huh.
Is there anyone
Yes.
who knows?
I do. I can read Sanskrit.
No, you can.
Yes,
You
I
can
can.
understand also.
Sarvamangala can.
Can I understand? Yeah. I mean.
What about you?
No, I'm not members with it.
Ah,
Sarvamangala was our teacher for 12 years.
aha.
And that was 20.
Thank you.
Okay, I can do it. I'm never very good at pronouncing things, so you can laugh. Okay. This
You're
is
asking me
a-
not to laugh.
It's not supposed to be a comic. But anyway, okay. Asti?
Huh?
Isn't it Rupa?
Oh, I'm on the wrong chapter.
Page 25.
Page 25.
Well, you didn't recognize that? See, that means that you know it. Okay, you could read it too.
All right, I'll read it.
Okay, sure.
Just to make you aware of the
Yes.
atmosphere.
Yes, yes.
That's all. I know that you won't
Okay, I
understand.
can do Rupa.
Rupam, Drishyam.
Drishyam.
Rupam, I'll give you the literal translation.
Great.
Rupam is form. Drishyam, it is seen.
Seen.
Form is seen. Lochanam, drik. Lochanam is the eye. That is not the ultimate eye, not the eye with the dot on top, the instrument. This is how to travel. Lochanam, drik. Who is seeing it? The eye. Tad drishyam, that becomes the object of the drik to manasam, the mind. We are moving inwards. Drishya dhi. Behind that is buddhi, which becomes the perceiver. Dhi vrittaya sakshi. Finally, it is the buddhi which is looking at the various modifications of objects, forms. Sakshi drik eva natu drishyate. At last you come to the witness, and the witness has no other witness. So the final level is the observer or the witness. This is the literal meaning of the thing, that in a simple mental experiment you can prove to yourself that the perceiver is hidden within the system. It's not at the level of the eye or at the level of the object or at the level of the mind. It is hiding, it's a metaphysical level. Metaphysical means it is not in the brain, which we take for granted. That it is somehow the nervous system which is seeing. It's not that. It's a metaphysical entity which is actually the perceiver, experiencer. But the instrument is within the psychophysical system.
Nice, Mataji.
Clear? Or you want to ask? It's the same thing that I have tried to show you, but it's a very simple kind of a thing, that unless the thing travels, so what he is saying in this is, this is the object, this is the perceiver. This becomes the object, this is the perceiver. This becomes the object, this is the perceiver. Finally, this is the perceiver, even that is the object because I can see my attention. And if I want to connect to the ultimate, that is the ultimate experiencer, the
And no
rest
other
is all
witness.
objects.
And there's no person.
There's nothing beyond that.
There's nothing beyond that.
Yeah.
Beyond the
Yeah.
the
And even you can trace it within yourself and see that beyond the observer there is no other observer, or you can have an infinite series if you want to. There is a ghost after ghost after ghost.
the collective ghost. Is that what you're talking about?
Collective.
No, I'm not talking about the collective ghost. The idea is you stop somewhere. If you are being reasonable, you stop somewhere because you cannot even think of anything beyond the final observer or final light. You can't think of it.
Is
So
the
stop
witness-
there.
Yes.
If the witness is, and that's it, that's the end of the story, perceived by no other. Exactly, very good.
All right, read.
So the form is perceived and the I is the perceiver. I is perceived and the mind is the perceiver. The mind with its modifications is perceived and the witness, the self, is verily the perceiver. But it, the witness, is not perceived by any other.
That's it.
Starting with the statement that the I is the perceiver, Sri Shankaracharya helps us to move inward till we come to the real perceiver through rational analysis. Finally, he shows that the object is not independent of the subject and is actually its projection or creation. The ordinary idea is that because the object is out there, we see it. The form is there, therefore we see it. But we never ask how the form has come about. Is this a manufactured image or does it have a permanent existence? We believe that the outside world is there and we see it with the eye. The eye and the organ of vision are multicellular. The mind is multifaceted as it has modifications. In Buddhism, this is called Sanghata.
Sanghata,
Sanghata, a collection.
not T. Sanghata.
Sanghata, Sanghata, a collection. This gadget through which we perceive the world, this body-mind complex, is made up of multiple lenses. It is made up of subtle energy which is always on the move. And through this dynamic network, we think that the world we see is absolutely steady. That is a major contradiction. From the Vyavaharic point of view, from the point of view of utility, we must deal with the objective world, but to think that it is steady and real is our basic confusion. Both the mind and the object of perception are made up of sets of combinations. We are multicellular, therefore our experiences are sets of combinations coming from other sets of combinations. Everything is in a state of flux. We take this movement, which is ephemeral and magic-like, to be the ultimate reality, and then we want to build something on it. This amounts to building a house on the waves of the ocean.
It's all folly. Sound and fury signifying nothing.
It's true that the absolute cannot be perceived, but it can be known,
Can be realized.
realized as the word.
Because I am that. Because I am the light, so I can recollect I am the light. And with this kind of analysis, I can see that yes, I am paying attention. No one else is paying attention. The object is not paying attention to me, I am. So this I am paying attention is to be emphasized till I recover that importance and then choose how much and to what That becomes my choice, and that much control comes to me.
Mahaji, where does modifications fit into this? Are these all modifications
Yes.
of the mind?
Now, but that would be a very difficult thing to portray, because modifications I can see within myself. Supposing I ask you to look, close your eyes and see what is it that you are noticing within your mind. Those are modifications. Modifications of subtle energy, which is contained in memories and ideas and images and past experiences. So this change that I notice within myself are called modifications.
Are they the sanskars too? Is that part of it?
Those are also modifications. We can directly experience them, but to portray them outside is not possible, because they are invisible, they don't have forms. I give them forms, and I am aware that yes, there are pictures, there are images, there are also all kinds of sensations. These are all modifications.
And so those are happening in the level of the antakaran,
Yeah, yeah.
which really are acting like lenses that distort everything.
Yeah, they can distort, they can also construct. It isn't only, don't think of it as something evil all the time. It is not that. We need to understand that we have all kinds of ideas and modifications which can lead us towards evolution or getting caught. This is a much better language than to think they are good or bad.
Yes, Mataji.
It's not a question of good or bad.
It's concealing or it's
Yeah.
either concealing or revealing.
Yes.
Okay.
Is the I or the mind a unit? Will you read it?
नील पीत स्थूल सूक्ष्म ह्रस्व दीर्घादि भेदतः नाना विधानि रूपाणि पश्येत् लोचनम एकधा.
Yes.
The forms, objects of perception, appear as various on account of such distinctions as blue, yellow, gross, subtle, short, long, etc. The eye, on the other hand, sees them, itself remaining the one and the same.
Again, it's taking you inwards by step, that the eye remains constant relatively, and it is the variety of objects that you see. So the variety, where does it end? It ends again at the level of metaphysical light.
All kinds of forms and shapes are visible through the eye. At this gross level, there is an appearance, therefore, of the eye being the unit. As we start analyzing the medium through which consciousness perceives, it seems as if consciousness itself has made the organ increasingly cohesive and organically functional as a unit, which gives us the impression that the organ itself is a unit. It is as if consciousness has developed the sense organs in such a way that they function as units, although they are multicellular.
Can you explain a bit more the unit, this idea of unit? It's like something that is indivisible, or?
Yes.
Yes, of course. Permanent background, like the screen. There has to be a screen on which you will be able to project images. You can't do it without any screen. So what is the screen as you move inwards? Where do you end? So that has to be discovered. And that is buddhi, which is supposed to be the ultimate inward kind of screen. And beyond that is light. But the light falls clearly on the buddhi, and then it gets bifurcated.
Right, and what you're saying is that's happening within, at the antakaran level, within the mind, and it's happening outside.
Outside is because my light is traveling with the help of attention all the time, and therefore I seem to see variety here. But actually the variety is within me also.
Which is giving me the impression of.
Swami Vivekananda once walked for several days in the desert. Each day he saw water bodies and trees and found them beautiful. Then once, when he was thirsty and sought to go to such a water body, he found it receding. Only then did he realize that all along he had been seeing a mirage. The reality or lack of it surfaced for him when he had the need, when he felt the thirst and wanted water. He realized how our sense organs deceive us.
See, there is another way of understanding this. Throughout millions of species, we have traveled looking for something. At the human level, we are trying to look for the same thing, but we haven't given it a name. Supposing I ask, what are you looking for? What am I looking for? Through my experiences.
You want to go back home.
We say something like happiness.
Yeah, something like happiness. But try and analyze happiness. What is it that gives me happiness?
Peace.
Gives me happiness, gives unhappiness to another person. So it is very elusive.
But say if we're taking a path of understanding, then I could say something like, it would be quite a thing to discover where that I am starts.
Yeah, that could be, but to make it simple, they gave us the word God. Why do we reject this idea? Ask yourself. You want to replace it with something? Try and see whether it is easy. It's not easy. Because that word contained a lot of meaning, significance. So either get it back or replace it with something. Happiness, but then happiness, I know that what makes me happy makes another person unhappy. Beauty is not something that is constant either. Truth, same thing. What is truth to me may not be to you. So the word God was invented or discovered or whatever. In every language there is a word. Our language is not English. So we also have a word which gathers tremendous momentum and significance as a culture develops. As more and more human beings try to relate to what that word represents.
And I'm sure you have some interesting ideas about why in this culture, or maybe other Western cultures too, that Buddhism seems to be on, so many folks seem drawn to that. Right?
Because Buddhism gives methods.
Exactly.
We are always asking, tell me what to do. Nobody says, tell me what to understand. That's why. It was needed, perhaps it's needed here also, that is why it's become so popular, because the Western mind wants to do.
Yes.
So that is why.
Tell
No
me
problem.
what to do.
But in Buddhism, he never mentions God.
Yeah, I know.
He never mentions God.
And today, that is why Buddhism is popular. Because the word God has been rejected. That's why. But then it isn't as if the I, ego, has also been rejected. He rejected both.
I didn't understand. What did you say?
He rejected, the Buddha rejected God as well as the I.
The ego.
Yes.
Okay.
And we want to reject God.
And
But
keep
we
the
don't
I.
want to reject the
Keep that.
I. Yes.
In the writing of Vivekananda and seeing the water, is that an example of modifications because he's imagining and he's thinking and he's desiring water, but it wasn't really
He's
there?
not imagining, it's a mirage.
Well,
Well,
I
what
don't
I'm saying-
understand.
The mirage is modification, it's a play of the mind.
What is
Yeah,
the
it
point?
is, of
Yeah,
course.
The
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, he is expecting something.
Yeah, so that's what you
So
meant by
the
modification
imagination
also.
says, yes, it's there.
Yeah, it's the working of the
And
mind.
when he's really in need, it's not there. Same with us. We also walk in the desert of life, if I may compare it like that, looking for water. When there is real need, it disappears. Same thing.
It's 5 o'clock.
It's 5
Can we
o'clock.
finish
Hold
the
on.
last sentence?
Or
It's
it,
5 o'clock.
There's one
but it may or may not be there, right, Mataji? Like,
We'll read that last sentence.
And
Self-questioning and self-inquiry are absolutely essential for understanding both human nature and inanimate nature.
God and I cannot be rejected. We better realize that. Therefore,
I'm sorry, just before you go on with God and I, wouldn't you say that part of my mind wants to reject the word God because it locks me into duality and to all of those past impressions of wars fought in the name of God with duality. So my mind wants something beyond that. So
yeah,
it's
but give
something
it a
that's-
word.
Yeah, well,
Give it a word.
I know, there's not one settled word for the
So,
whole
and
human
my
race.
mind demands an image and it demands a word, otherwise it will get stuck.
yeah.
How about consciousness?
Can we use Brahman?
Pardon?
Can we use Brahman?
Brahman? I
There's no
don't.
form to it.
Well, I guess we need to redefine
No,
words
it's impersonal.
with
You can't even
through
word it.
conversation and spreading.
Yeah, we
knowledge
need
of
to
what
redefine the
much
ancient
bigger
words. We
than
don't need to coin new words. Coin a new word and see how many people agree.
But it's a matter of explaining yourself. every
Supposing
time
I
you
want
say
to
the
call
word.
God a table. Would you agree?
No, it's much easier to redefine.
Closer approximations than that.
Pardon?
There are closer approximations.
Yes, but then does everyone agree?
I don't know.
If they don't agree, it will cause problems.
Well, but it,
Yeah, that's
it's you that must be satisfied with it.
Don't forget that we have entered the age of democracy or mobocracy. So, autocracy. What else was there?
Tyranny of the
Tyranny.
minority.
Tyranny. Dictators.
Everyone, there's a lot
But
of that.
the
going
question is, throughout the ages, name of God, there's a lot of suffering to each other. It's not self-suffering, it's to suffering to others.
In the name of God?
Yes.
Name of God.
So many
Saved.
fights, so many wars in the name of God.
You
Jihads.
don't seem to understand that it is human nature to kill. So take the help of something that is universally accepted and then play the game. Don't try to deceive yourselves. It is not the name of God that has created bloodshed. It is because we as human beings do not understand our own nature. That we are aggressive by nature.